salve galera, boa noite. Vamos lá para mais uma live aqui, ó. Mais uma live, né? Um jogo aqui que eu já até esqueci o nome já. Até meu amigo aqui esqueceu o nome também. Tá ligado? Eu não lembro. Mas eu rapidinho já vou ver aqui já qual é o nome dele. O nome do jogo é Greedfall. O bagulho é assim, Greedfall. Entendeu? Tô iniciando ele, né? Eu vi ele aqui pela PSN aqui que tava de graça, né? Então é a primeira vez que eu tô jogando ele. Eu nunca joguei ele, né? Ele tá só esse mês de graça, pessoal. Quem quiser baixar ele aí, ó, tá só esse mês de graça, entendeu? Então, vamos lá, vamos ver como é que é esse jogo. Vamos botar aqui no normal, né? Porque eu ainda tô iniciando, não sei como é que é. Mas vamos lá, galera, vamos lá. Não esqueça de deixar o like aí, ó. Comentem bastante aí sobre os jogos aí, valeu, que eu tô fazendo aí, pra vocês verem aí, valeu. Se inscreva no canal, ativa todo o sininho e deixe seu comentário, compartilhe bastante aí essa live aí, falou. E vamos ver como é que vai ser isso daí, como é que vai ser esse jogo aí, porque eu não tinha visto o trailer dele aqui, entendeu? E achei super interessante. Resolvi explorar ele, como é que é. Então, vamos ver como que ele é. Vamos saber se ele é bom mesmo, se ele vale a pena também, né? Porque, pô, tem que valer a pena, né? Poder jogar, tal. Não é dublado. Não é dublado, pessoal. Ó, o meu amigo perguntou se é dublado. Falei pra ele, não é dublado, entendeu? Quem dera se fosse dublado. Não é. Tem como você botar aqui, ó, o gênero dele como mulher ou como homem, né? Predestinação. Tá. Pra deixar o cara mais feio, mais bonito, mais pinta, sei lá. Aí cada um com seu gosto. Tem rosto, tem o cabelo. Eu gostei mais desse cabelo aqui. Então vamos lá, pelos faciais. Não sou. Vou deixar assim que é melhor. Sobrancelhas, a sobrancelha também tá boa. Cor da pele também tá bom. Cor do cabelo também tá bom. Cor dos olhos, aí pô, tem que dar uma melhorada na cor dos olhos, né? Pra poder ser um cara chamativo. Tá bom. E agora redefinir, próximo. Vamos pro próximo. Magia, técnico, guerreiro. Classes iniciais. Vamos botar magia, né? Porque eu já tava aqui já, né? Então vamos ver como é que é. Guerreiro?
Guerreiro é a distância, magia é a distância, guerreiro é combate com fogo.
Aí, ó, o amigo falou botar guerreiro. Então vamos lá. Guerreiro. Força. Próximo passo. Pronto para iniciar o jogo.
Few more minutes. You have such an incredibly singular face. That's a compliment, my lord, out of my mouth. Your particularity gives you character.
You're still here?
We've nearly finished. Have you any more need of me, Master?
You haven't forgotten that we're setting sail today, have you?
Of course not.
Your cousin is nowhere to be found. I've searched the palace
Galera,
from cellars to
mais tarde eu não sei, entendeu? De repente, não sei se mais tarde eu vou conseguir fazer mais uma live, entendeu? Mas se eu conseguir fazer mais uma live, eu falei que ia trazer o jogo que eu estava terminando, ele, entendeu? Então eu vou trazer alguns dos jogos que eu estava jogando ontem, na segunda-feira, né? A continuação deles, né? Quem tá acompanhando aí tá vendo aí, né? Então, depois desse jogo aqui, de repente eu vou e coloco ele. Falou, rapaz? Pra você ficar por dentro de tudo aí. Eu criei uma página lá no Facebook lá, pra Games PS4. Quem quiser lá, só dá uma conferida lá pra poder ver como é que é. Entendeu? Curte lá, valeu? Vocês fiquem sabendo de todos os jogos. Falou, galera. Então vamos lá, vamos pro jogo pra ver como é que é esse jogo aí, vamos explorar ele. Bom, eu fiquei sabendo que ele é igual o Pirata do Caribe, né? Vamos ver se realmente ele é.
Hey! Green blood!
Kurt.
And so the day has finally come. My royal fledglings are leaving the nest.
Accompanied by their most loyal and tenacious master of arms.
As loyal as your gold.
Enough with the cold mercenary. I know you like us. Still hiding your men in the unsuspecting
Galera,
shadows of the great
de ambas partes, né? O jogo ele parece que, tipo, o jeito de você mexer o boneco, né? Ele vira muito rápido, entendeu? Deu pra reparar alguns problemas já nele, né? Agora vamos ver agora. Pô, que isso? Agora só tô apanhando, o que houve? Isso, entendendo nada agora, gente. Não entendi.
Me who thought myself a competent weapons master.
It's becoming a little hard to believe.
Don't add insult to injury. This is humiliating enough.
Deu uma olhada, rapaziada. Mas é assim, primeira vez, a gente tá começando, a gente tá vendo como é que é o jogo. Entendeu? Mas vamos ver como é que é esse jogo aí, né? Para poder a gente se dar um pouco bem, porque já começamos mal. Galera, eu vou estar trazendo o PES também 2021, que eu peguei hoje, né? Eu consegui baixar ele de graça, né? Então eu vou trazer eles para vocês aí também, fazer a live dele também, entendeu? Vou ver se eu trago ver se eu também faço a live também do Fortnite também, que eu peguei ele de graça também, entendeu? Então eu vou fazer a live dele também. Eu nunca joguei Fortnite. O PES até já joguei o PES, né? Mas o Fortnite eu nunca na minha vida, eu nunca joguei Fortnite. Sempre falava que Fortnite eu não iria jogar e tal, nada contra, mas eu não achava que era jogo pra mim poder jogar, entendeu? E resolvi abaixar ele pra ver como é que é, né? E fazer a live dele pra saber, né, como é que vai ser, né? E poxa, não compensa, né, eu ficar jogando jogos do meu gosto pra poder ficar botando no YouTube aí pra vocês estar assistindo junto comigo aí, se divertindo junto comigo. Então eu tenho que trazer qualidade para diversas partes, né? Pra todos os jogos, né, pra cada uma pessoa que gosta também, né? Tem gente que gosta de jogar Fortnite, tem gente que gosta de jogar Assassin's Creed, tem gente que gosta de jogar já o FIFA, tem gente que gosta de jogar GTA e etc. Então, poxa, eu vou estar trazendo uma coisa ou outra e tal, vou fazer diversas coisas, né? Mas, então eu peguei também um Assassin's Creed também de um amigo meu, né? Mas eu, no caso, eu vou ter que jogar no perfil dele, porque eu ainda não comprei ele pra mim. Eu vou, se fizer mais pra frente, ver se eu consigo comprar ele. Eu gostei muito do Assassin's Creed, mas eu jogava pra Xbox 360 e pra Xbox One. Mas pra PS4 eu nunca joguei. Mas, né, eu sei que ele é bom também, muito bom. Então eu vou trazer ele também aqui também na live também, pra poder você estar curtindo ele também. Falou? Mas é isso aí, pessoal. Não esquece de deixar o like, falou? Ativar todas as notificações aí, ativar o sininho. Vai estar trazendo todos os vídeos. E não esquece de compartilhar para as pessoas, para poder dar uma divulgada, para poder a gente conseguir aí bater a nossa meta aí, entendeu?
I have no idea. He
De
had plans to celebrate his departure last night, and we haven't
1000
seen him since.
visualizações,
You know Constantine.
né?
I should have gone with him,
Então
but
a
my
gente tá
heart
querendo
wasn't
bater essa
in the mood
meta aí
for
de 1000
celebration.
visualizações aí pra poder
The thought of bidding my mother farewell.
tá colaborando aí
It is
com
never
vocês
easy
aí.
to say goodbye.
E é isso aí, pessoal. É trazer a alegria pra vocês aí, se divertindo junto com a gente aí. O que eu faço aí, né?
Very well.
No dia a dia aí, nos meus tempos livres. Praticamente sempre eu tô praticamente com esse tempo livre, né? Porque como eu falei no início do meu vídeo, né? Eu tô sem trabalhar. Então eu tô desempregado, né? E pretendo voltar a trabalhar, né? Mas enquanto nisso eu vou falando aí com vocês aí, né? Mostrando pra vocês aí o vídeo aí da live aí do jogo. Pra vocês também estar se divertindo também junto comigo também. Curtindo bastante. Falou, pessoal.
I'm so very happy to hear your voice. You remind me so much of your father. I do miss him so. Today is the big day, isn't it? Ready to
O
set
jogo só tinha
sail
que ser
for that
dublado, né? Poxa.
island
Agora eu
everyone's
espero que o
talking
Assassin's Creed
about.
também venha dublado também, né?
But
Porque,
the
pô,
idea of leaving you behind, alone and
Dying, my child. Alas,
aí,
there is nothing
um amigo
you
meu
can
falou que
do this day.
o Assassin's Creed dele é dublado. Espero que seja dublado, né? Que aí como? Vai ficar bem
They say
melhor,
the
né? Porque
island is
dublado,
full of
pô,
miracles, and we might
é
find a
outra
cure.
coisa, né?
even if I were to find it, I would
Mas,
never be
pessoal,
able to return
eu não
in time.
vou ficar aqui, né, por muito tempo aqui nessa live aqui, entendeu? Eu vou,
But to know my
é,
son is
não
left
vou
on a
ficar
mission.
não vou ficar 2 horas, 3 horas e tal, entendeu? No máximo, mais 1 hora, 1 hora e pouca, entendeu? De live, entendeu? Porque também tem que trazer outros jogos também pra vocês aí, pra vocês assistir também.
A family
Entendeu?
heirloom. Something that
Então,
take it and keep it with you.
eu
May
vou
it bring you good
ser
luck.
bastante breve, entendeu? Com os jogos
May
agora,
blessings go with you.
pra poder estar trazendo diversos jogos pra vocês, né?
Be off.
Pra vocês estar se divertindo junto comigo. A criançada aí que gosta de Free Fire, eu vou estar trazendo também aqui o Free Fire também pra vocês também aqui, entendeu? Pra poder botar na live aí também o Free Fire. Falou? A minha namorada, ela tá querendo jogar o Free Fire, né? Ela tá querendo jogar contra, né? Mas só que eu não curto Free Fire, eu não sei jogar Free Fire. Não adianta que eu não sei jogar, não adianta. Entendeu? Então eu vou botar ela pra jogar contra um amigo meu, entendeu? Free Fire, entendeu? Aí vou fazer a live deles dois aí pra poder eles jogarem Free Fire contra, né? Aí eu só vou dar um tempinho, né? Esperar aí, né? Que eu vou ter que consertar o telefone, né? O telefone dela não tá muito bem. Então, assim que trocar e consertar o telefone dela, eu vou trazer essa live aí do Free Fire aí pra vocês estarem curtindo aí também. Esse X1 aí entre eles aí. Falou, pessoal?
Nothing came of it. All the parliamenting fatigues me. But this is your domain. I wouldn't say no to a little help.
Of course. Where is the supplier?
In the lower boroughs, near the port.
Right then. We'll put it on our list of visits.
Greenblood, do you need something?
I wondered if you ever felt lonely.
I always do. Why, do you want to rectify this?
I hope to have kept you good company for all these years. After all, we were always together.
And I valued your friendship. But I thought you were referring to another kind of company. And to be honest, You and Constantine aren't exactly my type. Anything else?
I must leave you.
Nossa, mas ele correndo é muito estranho.
Your Excellency.
Lord de Sade, I have been told that you were named legate. Congratulations. Those are great responsibilities for someone as young as yourself. But you will bring honor upon your family and the congregation. Of that I'm certain.
I thank you, Excellency. I've come here to inform you of our departure for TFD. My cousin Constantine is about to take up office as governor of New Serene, and I'm accompanying him.
I had no idea you would be leaving so quickly. What a shame. I had thought... Well, then, that is a pity. Have a pleasant voyage. A brilliant future awaits you. They say that it is a marvelous island. Please convey to your cousin my congratulations and sincere wishes for success.
You seem slightly hesitant. Please, tell me what troubles you.
A rather unscrupulous individual has been sowing trouble in Serene. A charlatan passing himself off as an alchemist.
Do people actually give credence to these lies?
Alas, yes. They snatch up his celebrated panacea. Remedies worse than the ill, believe me. As you can well imagine, alchemists are our pride. This vulgar trickster casts dirt upon their reputation and our own at the same time. In any city of the Bridge Alliance, we would have arrested him. But here, we respect your laws.
I shall see what I can do, but make no promises. My departure is imminent.
I thank you, Excellency. And I am pleased to see you have taken so well to your new functions of diplomacy. The man operates in the city center. He is said to be clever and mean. Be careful.
Would you be so kind as to tell me what you know about the Bridge Alliance?
With pleasure. A legate needs to know the history and strengths of his allies. The alliance was sealed by several nations of the Bridge around 200 years ago. The greatest of our cities, Al-Sad, became the capital, and a council formed from the different nations now rules. This union was originally put into place to better resist the appetites for conquering our neighbors. But our ancestors quickly realized that the Union had also strengthened us economically and culturally. And of course, exchanges in knowledge were strongly encouraged from the outset. Today, it is by no means an overstatement to claim that the Bridge Alliance leads our world in science and exploration. Each day, we push the limits of our understanding further in each and every domain.
Could you give me your understanding of the relations between the congregation and the bridge?
Our relations hang essentially on the quality of our trade and commerce. The exchanges are very profitable, especially on the cultural front. I will not hide from you that we have hoped you would join our number for quite some time. But your princes insist on maintaining a neutral stance between the congregation and the other nations on the continent. It is by all means a respectable position, even if it means you also trade with our enemies.
The Bridge Alliance has been on Teofredi for much longer than we have. What can you tell me?
It is true that we founded Hikmet, our newest city, around 15 years ago now. Alas, I haven't been able to go there myself. I can only tell you what others have reported to me. It is a luxurious island. An enormous dead volcano thrones in its center. The vegetation is extremely varied, and the fauna wondrous. We discovered animals that we had never ever seen before. Some are bigger than houses. But they're not the only occupants of the island. A savage and crude people also live there, who speak an incomprehensible language. But you shall discover all of this for yourself soon enough.
And what of your war with Ptolemy?
It has been dragging on. In fact, it has been dragging on for years. It is madness. If those bigots hadn't gotten it in their heads to convert the entire continent, we wouldn't be in this situation. But that's the way of the world. We shall not waver, whether here or on Teofredi.
Have you been fighting battles there as well?
From what I've been told, Ptolemy has wisely and tastefully built their colony far from our city. Direct conflicts are in fact quite rare. But one day they will inevitably take place.
I need to be going. Goodbye, Excellency.
Goodbye, Lord de Sade.
Good day, Excellency.
Sir de Sade, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I have come to inform you that my cousin Constantine and I are departing for Teofredi on the hour.
Ah, yes. I did indeed hear talk that you had both received callings of greater stature. Allow me to congratulate you. Were you not named legate of the congregation?
You are correct, Excellency. I thank you.
It is a station of great honor that I am sure you will fill with brio and panache. The Mother Cardinal Cornelia will be enchanted to work with you, and your cousin in the future. I only regret that your departure is so sudden.
Really?
To be entirely honest with you, I was hoping to solicit your help in a rather delicate matter.
Tell me more about it, and perhaps I can take care of your problem before my departure.
Very well. A small group of dangerous heretics has found refuge in Serene. We know that your uncle tolerates the presence of all.
Salve, Henrique. Henrique Garcia Fontes. Salve.
But these particular non-believers
Mandar salve aqui pra Nameles. Nameles. Valeu,
we
salve,
would
mano.
consider it a tremendous favor if you would arrest them and deliver them to our guard.
Heresy is not a crime in Serene. You do know that. But I'm sure my uncle would hear your arguments. Why call on my intervention?
The prince would indeed give us his blessing.
Compartilhe aí com os amigos de vocês aí, valeu. Valeu, Henrique, compartilha aí, ó. Falou. Ativa aí as notificações aí, o sininho aí, valeu. Deixa o like aí. Valeu, que eu vou estar trazendo mais jogos aqui, breve.
If your heretics are planning on boarding a ship, then they must be in the dockyards. I'll look into this and see what I can do. Could you tell me anything about Thélème?
It would be a pleasure. As you already know, our glorious nation is guided by our faith. We follow the teachings of Matthias, our founder and greatest prophet, and give thanks each day to the Luminous for having gifted us magic. The high dignitaries of Thélème are at the same time our spiritual guides, advocates, and grand mages.
I've heard say that dissensions have appeared recently in your nation.
Ah, you must certainly be speaking about the debates that have divided the Ordo Luminous and the more political orders. The Lord Luminous has an extremely pure vision of our faith and applies the words of our saint very strictly. But other, more open-minded factions exist within our nation. They believe that a less rigid dialectic would attract souls more readily to our faith. But their differences are purely theoretical, and do not threaten the cohesion of our nation, I assure you.
What's your point of view on the relations between our two nations?
As ambassador of Thélème, I can only rejoice at the mention of our commercial treaties. We appreciate as well the welcome that your uncle gave to our missionaries. Thanks to your support, more and more believers wander your lands. The congregation is our most precious ally. To be perfectly honest, we have only two complaints. That heresy is tolerated, and that your treaties with the Bridge Alliance are maintained.
How is Thélème faring, Teofredi?
We built a marvelous city, San Matthias, on the western coast of the island. Did you know that certain historians believe that it might well have been the final resting place of our prophet? Our missionaries there are a multitude. Not a day passes without new islanders joining our sacred faith. Of course, there are certain pockets of resistance. There is talk of a demonic cult, disgusting creatures. But I am confident that the Ordo Luminous will be able to put an end to these horrors. And we have tremendous hopes that the entire native population will join our ranks.
How goes the conflict with the Bridge Alliance?
Your territory is, alas, the only one that has been spared from the ravages of war on the continent. We fight on every front, without great success, one must say. But what other choice do we have? These so-called savants not only refuse the light, but are determined in their fight against it.
And on Teofredi?
To my knowledge, no one has yet seen any serious fighting. The Bridge have succeeded in provoking the natives there, and have their hands full keeping them at bay. Which leaves us greater latitude to settle peacefully and pursue our mission of conversion.
I must be going. Farewell, Excellency.
May the light guide you, de Sade.
The merchant is there.
Lively there, lads and lasses! I promised the merchants and their prince we'd be off before the tide. You, man, carry that properly. That porcelain is worth more than your life. There are some children we'd be best to refuse.
Captain Vasco.
And you are?
I'm de Sade, the prince's nephew. If all is in order, we will soon be embarking on your boat.
It's a ship. Not a boat.
Apologies.
Apologies for my asking, but the young governor isn't with you.
He didn't come home this morning. I need to find him before departure.
I hope nothing's happened to him or he hasn't changed his mind. The tide does not wait.
Perhaps he simply celebrated his imminent departure with a little too much enthusiasm. Is everything ready?
We're short a crew member. The cabin boy is missing. But have no fear, we will leave without him if he does not present himself before the tide.
Is he an important member of the crew?
We don't need him for sailing or navigation. He's only a cabin boy.
He must have simply had a bit too much to drink in celebrating his departure. Like another I know.
I doubt that. Jonas was never one to fancy drink. And it's been 2 days since last he was seen. No, I fear something bad has happened to him. Might I ask you, if you hear anything, could you report it to me? I would like to set sail with a clear mind.
Have you seen anyone wandering about? Suspicious looking? Maybe clandestine passengers?
Take a look around. There are far too many comings and goings to spot possible stowaways. As long as they don't try and get on my ship, I pay no attention to them. That said, we did catch ourselves a smuggler just a while ago.
A smuggler? Maybe he could be of some use. Where could I find him?
In the port jails, not far from the warehouses. May I ask you, why the sudden interest in smugglers and the odd stowaway?
A couple of heretics are planning on leaving Serene. The ambassador of Teleme has entrusted me with the job of capturing them.
Happy to see that you trust me enough to seek my counsel in the affair. Just so happens that I heard someone talk about the couple. The Cardinal's men are far from discreet. They're making quite some ruckus, asking to search our warehouses. We, of course, refused entry. Only the Nords have access. I'm sorry, Your Excellency, but I'm certain your potential stowaways aren't far. But we won't allow you to make a search to grab them. Not officially, at least.
What do you mean?
That discretion and malice are often more useful than titles and words.
You haven't heard anything about my cousins by chance, have you? To be honest, we were hoping to find him here.
Did you say he was intending on celebrating his departure? My men spoke of a rather animated party that went down at the Coin Tavern, but I haven't heard anything else.
That isn't the safest place in the city. I hope nothing has happened to him.
Let's go and find him. Thank you, Captain.
Happy to be of some help.
Could you tell me a little about your guild?
We are masters of the oceans. Our ships can sail where no others dare.
Thanks to your magic, so I've heard. How do you become one?
Our magic, yes, that only the Nords master. As for your question, any child born on one of our ships is seaborn. He is a Nord from birth. Others are sea-gifted, joining the Nords for different reasons, often from a young age. It's how the guild is made and maintains its numbers.
Could you tell me anything about our destination? The island of Tearfredi?
It is a magnificent place. Wild. Spared from your wars and your mines for now. The natives have a relationship with their land and consider it sacred. They're a very friendly people, welcoming. That will appear to you strangely familiar. I've also heard that there are a great many exotic creatures, some enormous. But I wouldn't know what else to tell you. I've never strayed far from the ports.
What do you think of our port?
Are you referring to this one? It is the biggest high seas port on the continent. Thanks to your prince, even though it remains part of your city. It holds a particular status for us Nords. Certain zones are owned completely by us. And maritime law holds office. It's a good port. Were it not for the Malachor, it would be a pleasant place to dock.
When did you see your cabin boy for the last time?
It's been 2 days since I've had any news at all. It wasn't out of the ordinary until this morning. My men have free shore leave when we're docked. But the day of departure, every able-bodied sailor must be present on the ship.
Does the boy know anyone in Serene?
Other than fellow Nords, you mean? I don't think so, but it's difficult to be sure.
Does the boy know anyone in Serene?
Other than fellow Nords, you mean? I don't think so, but it's difficult to be sure.
Be back soon, Captain.
We need to have a word with that people smuggler the sailor mentioned.
He's a captain, Kurt, like yourself. And in order to interrogate the smuggler, we'll need to find a way into his jail.
Galera, eu vou estar encerrando esse vídeo aqui, valeu? Porque eu ainda vou procurar saber mais sobre esse jogo aqui, que ainda não conheço muita coisa, entendeu? Vou explorar ele mais, né? Então eu espero que vocês tenham curtido aí. Deixe bastante comentários aí, falou? E se inscreva no canal, falou? E compartilhe bastante aí, ativa o sininho. Galera, eu vou estar encerrando esse vídeo aqui. Deus, falou, valeu, fui.